I'm an entrepreneur because
I'm an entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur because I have a lot of big ideas and I don't know what else I would do with them.
my name is Nate Sheppard.
I'm Andrea Sheppard.
And I am the owner of Nate Sheppard Media as well as the Hilgerman Center for Community based here in Rhinelander, Wisconsin.
So the Hilgerman Center as a whole is just a space that the community can come together. We're a small event venue and we also have some other businesses in our space as well.
The main floor of this building is about 6,400 square feet and it houses about 4 different business spaces, and then there are 2 levels above us of currently uninhabitable apartments, but we do have plans down the line to renovate those and to be able to open those as well. Yeah, so Nate Sheppard Media, it's in the name, it's just me making media. Started doing it full-time about 6 years ago. So as my business grew, I found myself kind of running out of space. I was running a full media business out of a spare room in our house. And so for a while, my wife and I have been looking for potential downtown spaces and places for me to have a studio.
So as we were looking at spaces, we wanted something that could house Nate Sheppard Media, hopefully maybe have some other rentable spaces that we could pay the bills with. And then we've kind of always wanted a space that we could use for community stuff and concerts and movie showings and whatever other people in the community want to do with it too.
And so as we were looking for spaces, we ended up finding this beautiful building, and so we chose to move forward with purchasing it.
So we started out working with a bank that seemed like maybe it was going to work out, and then it was just falling through. So,
you know, sometimes banks are a little risk averse, and so we didn't know at first if this was going to work. And then we heard about EFund and started talking with them and figuring out that this is an organization that exists for projects pretty much exactly like what we were trying to do. So we ended up actually being able to purchase the building through resources that EFund provided for us.
So I'm Jeff Larson. I am a business developer with the Entrepreneur Fund. I connected with Nate and Andrea Sheppard through Child's Frame Company.
I'm Jaron Childs,
And I'm Melinda Childs.
and we're Child's Frame Company in downtown Rhinelander, Wisconsin.
I was working with them and their building had been put up for sale.
When our building was for sale, I think we spent at least 3 months trying to figure out if and how we could buy it. And so we had reached out to local banks and all sorts of different resources and ended up with EFund, and they were really the most helpful, I guess, in a lot, because it was big picture. It was way more big picture.
They indicated that they knew some people that were going to be buying a building a block away. That ended up being Nate and Andrea.
We finally ended up kind of realizing that we weren't really in a cash flow position to buy that building. But right around that time is when, you know, we heard Nate was doing this endeavor, and it just seemed like kind of stupid not to, you know, to be a part of the larger kind of arts vision for this building.
And then I received a call from Andrea, and she was saying, Nate has all this equipment and stuff in the house, and we have to buy a building. Kind of at the last minute, the bank backed out of the deal, and so I got a call asking if we would take a look at it, and we're able to put a deal together literally within 2 or 3 weeks.
I'm Tony Rio, and I am the owner of Crate Diggers Music and More in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. So we started off in a smaller space around the corner. Not a whole lot of foot traffic, not a whole lot of feeling like we were really invested in the downtown area. So when this space came available, it was kind of a no-brainer. It allowed us to expand because we desperately needed the room. It had the perfect vibe for a record store, especially a small town record store, and it put us right in the heart of downtown. We're only a little bit over a year old, and we're already profitable, and that is unheard of. And most of that I attribute to being able to come into a space like this, that somebody had the forethought to invest in themselves and build out for community businesses. So as a small business, some of the challenges we faced have obviously been, financing.
Yeah, some of the challenges are, how do you get your name out there? How do you establish yourself, especially when your business is yourself? Then you just have to show up.
What challenges have we not faced?
It takes a lot of effort just in the day-to-day things of running a small business.
He's busy framing and keeping up with customers. I'm working another job, plus we have 2 kids.
We still have all of those different things that we need to deal with. Profitability and payables and receivables and sales and market, all that stuff.
I think one of the big challenges for me within framing is the amount of business that I have, and I'm a one-person shop, is kind of tricky to manage.
A lot of it is just resources. It's kind of a known thing with small towns is, we got good community, we got some strong and plucky individuals, but a lot of times there's just not the infrastructure and there's not the funding.
The bigger banks, while they do some financing, a lot of these small businesses on Main Street don't quite fit their underwriting guidelines, and so that's the space we're in. What we're working towards is to get that small business so that they are bankable.
But not just the financial side of it. That's what's really beautiful about an organization like EFund is that it takes a lot more than money to run a business, and that's something we've learned very much since stepping into this.
There's so many things you don't know about when you own, I work a whole nother full-time job, so sometimes when I get those business-y letters in the mail, they sit for a couple months, and then I get a notice that's oh, you're gonna owe a $700 fine because you didn't do this thing. But you need a crash course.
You don't get a welcome pack from the state being
exactly.
You own a new business, here's what you have to, and so.
One of the things that's kind of always been my motto is if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail.
One of the most valuable pieces of advice that we've received along the way is to take it a step at a time and to recognize that, you can have big dreams and you can have all these visions, but if they're not grounded in reality and if you don't have this practical understanding of all of the steps that need to be taken, then you're very likely to fail.
In my conversations with Nate and Andrea, they really did a lot of planning when they researched this building.
What I love about EFund is that there's a marrying of those two things where you may have, a traditional bank is going to keep you grounded in reality pretty quick, right? But they're not going to have an understanding of sort of the vision and the future and sort of seeing the long-term goals with a project like this.
You have to look beyond the numbers. You have to look at the character of the people. You have to look at the industry that the business is in. Even if from a financial statement analysis standpoint, it doesn't look all that terrific. Our role in that is to help them grow to the point where the bank does become interested.
And so it's been this beautiful marriage of those two things where we can dream and we can build and we can have these ideas, this legacy project for 10, 20, 30 years down the road, but also understand that it takes 10, 20, 30 years and that it's a slow process of investment and partnership all along the way. And so we're excited to not only have EFund as a sort of a part of the startup and being a partner right at the beginning, but we're also excited for that long-term relationship.
Working with EFund was just a really great experience.
Working with Jeff, we talked through all the different purchasing scenarios, but then he also helped just with cash flow management.
You get more advice along the way than you would with just working with a bank.
It really helped us avoid a lot of significant mistakes and enabled us to be able to put it all together. We had to do some construction on the building. All of that's finished now. We have tenants in the space, and I don't know if we would have been able to do that without having good people around you.
We were treated so respectfully and reassured that what we were going through was very common. It's like having a coach or a guide, and you don't feel so alone.
It is important that we partner with the local ecosystem, so the Oneida County Economic Development Corporation, the Rhinelander Chamber. That's really the first place that most local small businesses turn to when they have a question.
My name is Tony Farrell. I'm the Executive Director of Oneida County Economic Development. Partnerships are crucial for our organization because we need to be the experts on what sources and what resources are out there. So when you're looking to start a business, we want people to come to our organization and find out what's available. EFund plays a huge role in our success in being able to help Oneida County and Rhinelander residents, because when folks might not be able to find a conventional loan, they're able to come to you guys and be able to make funds available that they couldn't find anywhere else.
Sometimes people ask me sort of why Rhinelander? Why such a small town?
Why I think people should invest in the Northwoods area is because it's a growing area.
We have a lot of new businesses. Even in the past 5 years, there's been a lot more people that I think understand what it means to build a community.
With this building and with other people downtown, other shop owners, there's been this kind of renaissance of downtown Rhinelander.
After COVID, we saw a huge uptick of new startups. We see people willing to take the leap of faith and try to make their dreams come true.
It feels like it's becoming more of an art community, more of a performing arts community.
The trends are that we're going to see an influx in population.
You know, I might be biased, but I think Rhinelander might be kind of the next big thing.
It's a really exciting time to be investing in Rhinelander as a whole.
A lot of my vision and the dreams that I have for this building and for my business and for my community is really just stemming from a lot of the things that I need for myself. Really getting a sense of just a lot of people feeling isolated, a lot of people feeling lonely.
I can't tell you how many times Nate and I have tried to go on a date, and it's like we'd go out to eat and then go to Walmart.
A lot of it for me was just realizing I have some resources to be able to provide for my community what I need for myself. To actually come together and have unique experiences, have opportunities to connect with each other, to see each other as human, to build those relationships. What are the gaps in our community? What are ways that we can partner to fill those gaps so that this can continue to grow as a community that is a wonderful place to live, a place to raise your kids, a place to see a future for yourself?
My favorite part about working with entrepreneurs is just the diversity of the businesses that I come across. They all have their own story, and it's fascinating how they get started in business, grow their business, and make an impact in their community.
I'm an entrepreneur because all artists are entrepreneurs.
I'm an entrepreneur because I want my life to be about investing in other people and investing in the community.
I'm an entrepreneur because I feel that it's important for community people to build their community for not only themselves, but future generations.
I'm an entrepreneur because I love to see good things happen in the world, and sometimes you have to be an entrepreneur to do that.